So in this next video, we are going to be learning about factoring trinomials using specifically the SP method. SP is a fancy word for sum and product, okay? And that's how you want to be thinking about those two numbers when you're looking at a trinomial, that's 1, 2, 3 terms, and trying to factor it. So the second you see a trinomial, you kind of want to put an S for sum and a P for product, right? Because you're asking yourself two questions. First question is, what are all the factors of this number 10, okay? So let's make an organized list. The organized list would be like 1 times 10, 1 and 10. 1 times 10 gets you 10. And next, after 1 is 2, and 2 times 5 gets you 10 as well, okay? So that's your organized list. Once you have your organized list and you figured out all the numbers that give you a product of 10, you want to go to over here and ask yourself, okay, of these two numbers, which one gives you a sum of 7, right? So 1 and 10 gets you 11, and 2 and 5 actually gets you 7. So it's got to be 2 and 5. Those have to be the factors, okay? So as a result, what's going to happen is you're going to drop the parentheses like this, and you're going to write x and x because x times x gets you x squared. And because everything is positive here, a positive 2 and a positive 5 makes this equation true. 2 times 5 gets you 10, and 2 plus 5 gets you 7. And this is how we use the sum product rule, sum product method, okay? So let's try it again over here. It's pretty straightforward. You put an S, you put a P, and this tells me I'm looking for all the numbers that will give you a product of 8. In this case, it's 1 and 8, and 2 and 4, okay? This is how I'm making my organized list. Now, I have to ask myself, okay, of these two factors, which one adds up to give you 9, which sums up to 9? In this case, it's 1 and 8. Because I know it's 1 and 8, I'm going to put parentheses, x, 1 and 8, okay? And because everything is positive here, it's going to be positive 1, positive 8. Just to double check, 1 plus 8 is 9. 1 times 8 is 8. So it sums up to 9 and is a product of 8. Beautiful. Now we get to something slightly harder, but it's the same idea, right? I put sum, I put product, and I start making my organized list. I know 1 and 20 gets me 20, 2 and 10 gets me 20, and finally 4 and 5, right? Of these, now you have to ask yourself, okay, because it's a negative 20, one of these factors has to be negative. And you have to ask yourself, which one of these two factors are either going to add up or subtract to give you 1? And in this case, it's very obvious that it's going to be 4 and 5, okay? So let's actually just go ahead and put this down, right? X, 4, and 5. Now you have to think a little bit logically. What does this sign have to be and this sign have to be in order for them to sum up to give you a positive 1? You already know one of them has to be negative because the product is negative. Positive times negative is negative, right? So in this case right here, if you had a negative 4 and or a positive 4 and a negative 5, you will get negative 1. But if you had a negative 4 and a positive 5, right? Negative 4 plus 5 gives you a positive 1, so this must be the answer. Negative 4 plus 5 sums up to 1. Negative 4 times 5 gives you a product of negative 20. And there goes your answer. Okay, let's do one more. Sum, product, make my organized list. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. The question I'm asking is, which of these two pairs either adds up or subtracts to get me 2? And in this case right here, it's going to be 4 and 6, right? Because 4 minus 6 is going to get you to 2. So because I know that off the bat, I'm going to write parentheses, x, 4, and 6. Now I have a decision to make. Which one is positive? Which one's negative? And in this case right here, the 4 has to be positive and the 6 has to be negative. Why is that the case? Because 4 plus negative 6 sums up to negative 2. And 4 times negative 6 gets you a product of negative 24.